Dude, we were live when you did that. Hey, everybody, this is Dwayne,
And this is David.
and we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. In case you skipped Tony's intro, this is Survivor Talk with D&D.
So my mute button wasn't working?
No, apparently not. You- Oh, man, this is our listener feedback show for episode 9 of Survivor, Juan Del Sur, Getting to Crunch Time.
Getting to crunch time.
And that was Keith that said that. Gave
Yes, it
David
was.
some points. You have those
Yeah,
points tonight ready to talk about, correct?
that would be correct, sir.
Okay. I'm watching you to see if you go frantically searching on your computer for them. You are, aren't you?
No.
Okay. He's showing them to me. That's good.
Yeah, when you told me I was reading both feedback, then, or at least one of them, I went in and started printing everything.
Right.
I really
Hey,
liked
everybody,
you,
listen.
gotta say.
Amazon is already doing what? What, David?
I said I really liked you reading all the feedback, and I'm sure they did too. But I understand that you want to split time.
Yes, that's right. Hey, Amazon's already doing Black Friday deals. They're doing countdown to Black Friday. And I know you're all over the web and you see Amazon links and advertisements. Don't click on those. Go back to our page, stwdd.com, and click on an Amazon link. It doesn't even have to be a Black Deal link, but they're all over the website, stwdd.com/Amazon, and you help the podcast. Christmas season is upon us. Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. It's the holiday season. Time to buy from Amazon and help D&D. That's what. Okay, forget it.
I was listening.
Yeah, I know you were just a little bit. Anyway, thank you for doing that. If you want to support us by a one-time donation with PayPal, you can do that, or become a monthly patron on Patreon, and you can do both of those at stwdd.com/support. Apparently, David, Andy Baker is going to be putting out his blog tomorrow, and it's going to be somewhat ranty.
You say that like he never puts it out. So apparently he's putting one out tomorrow, which is what he normally does. But yes, I cannot wait to read it because I think he decides not to hold back this week.
Yeah. What I meant was, David, I've been talking to Andy, as have you,
Yes.
and he's told us his article is going to be quite ranty.
Yes. And apparently I
Yes.
cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. If you don't read it, you go to truedorktimes.com. And you can not only read Andy Baker there, but you can read Jeff Pittman. I got to tell you something. Jeff Pittman knows how to make a website that is Survivor, everything you want to see, pictures with funny captions, video caps. I mean, like how many times did this person eat a crab stuff? I mean, this guy lives and breathes Survivor. Go to truedorktimes.com. You can check out Jeff Pittman and Andy Baker.
The best way to do it is to join our Facebook group. And then once you're on our Facebook group, you'll get the link to Andy's blog. And once you're at Andy's
Sure.
blog, then you can hit the home button and go right to True Dork Times.
That's right.
That's probably the easiest way to do it. Just like shopping Amazon. Start
Yeah.
at our page.
That's right. In fact, on our website, I have Survivor links. I have, because I don't mind telling people about other podcasts and other things, unlike, anyway. So just want to let you know that I have links to other Survivor pages. Just head at me right now. So
And also, True
people are
Dork Times
complaining.
has
Hey,
links as well to other Survivor pages like ours.
people say you need to turn up your microphone. They can't hear you on.
All right, what about now? Maybe why
That's
you keep
that's
talking over
that's
me.
better for me, but I still think you're a little low. Turn it up a little bit more.
All right, I'll turn it up to that. How about that? I'm probably not talking very loud.
That's a lot better, David.
Cool.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, it is time. Oh, wait, we do have Survivor Challenge, the D&D Survivor Challenge points coming up, which I have no idea if I'm ahead. Well, I know I'm not ahead overall. I mean, I'm 200 points behind.
That's the funniest joke you've told so far.
Wow, I can hear you now, David. Anyway, so that's coming up. Miko's challenge, and it better darn well be a hard one after last week. You know, some people take this challenge quite seriously. You and I joke around about it and get frustrated and then don't even think twice about it the next day, but apparently others really analyze it deeply
Yes.
and care.
Yes.
One guy on Twitter even said, "Stop doing Miko's challenge. You could spend your time better doing deeper analysis." And I responded, "Dude, we're already done with all that. Miko's challenge is just fun stuff at the end."
That's right.
And then he quoted some philosopher that I don't know. So anyway, that was fun though. I love it whenever people interact with us on Twitter. In fact, today somebody did a trivia question, David,
Hmm.
on Twitter, and I was playing Monopoly with Nathan, which I won, by the way. And by the way, Will Dennison says your mic is better now, David, in the chat room. Anyway, and he did this survey question, and then he followed it up with the bonus. And
Hmm.
I didn't want to be rude, so I just said, "I'm playing Monopoly with my son, and besides, David's better at trivia. Here's his Twitter feed." Well,
Problem is, I don't really follow Twitter. I'll do it on Wednesday nights, and every random time I'll check notifications, but I just don't go on Twitter as much.
yeah, okay. All right, let me do something here because I'm still getting people saying, "I can't hear him very well." So I'm going to turn you up on my end. Talk again.
Check 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Don't worry about it. Don't do anything on your end because I don't want to mess
On
up.
your end, you were trying to hold me back. I see.
No, no, I just don't want to mess up your GarageBand recording. So,
Uh-oh.
all right, my friends, it is time for listener feedback first, and David is doing the honors tonight. I tell you what, David, I will read Kayla's from Canada.
You can introduce Kalis, yes.
Yes, but David's going to read all the feedback tonight. Give me a little break since I've been, using my voice all day long.
Yeah, because I didn't go away out of town to coach soccer all weekend for 3 days, but I'm ready to go. So,
No, I'll read Andy's for
I'm
you,
just
David.
kidding. I'll read them. I'll read them.
No, I'm going to read it.
I'm not a yeller. I got a voice. I'll do it. No, he answered my challenge, so I'm gonna read him.
This was your last soccer. Are you ever going to coach again, or is this your last coaching day?
Well, this ends like 12 years of me coaching travel soccer.
How can you not be crying right now?
I've already gone through that stage.
Have you, like the whole way home? Were you like a weeping mess?
They asked me afterwards, "Are you going to speak at the end of the game?" I'm like, no, because the parents have already planned 2 cookouts, 2 gatherings, because they want to take a picture of the girls in May with their new college T-shirts on. So all the girls going away to college, they're going to bring their shirts and take a picture with that, which is kind of neat. So I said, no, I'll talk to y'all later. We took a few pictures. I made what was kind of neat, and I know we're not at Survivor yet, but I made the girls, when they're little, when kids are little and they play soccer, at the end of the game, they run across the field, and the parents stand face to face and form the bridge and make the kids run through the bridge. And it's like a whole
I didn't know that.
Kids look forward to it, and it's really neat. So I told the parents, I said, we're going to do this our last game. They did it when they were 4 years old, and they're going to do it when they're 18 years old.
Oh.
So, and I posted it on my Facebook page, just the last run of the Fury, to walk across the field, and they didn't know the parents were going to do this. And the parents are over there waiting for them, and they're standing sideways, facing each other, and the girls had to walk through the line. It was kind of cool.
You had mamas crying, iPhones out, taking video.
Everybody crying. That was me with my iPhone out taking the video. I drove 3 hours home, and then as soon as I got home, I texted them all, made them all cry. I got choked up, so it was really good. But it was it was like 10 or 12 years with a bunch of different girls, and it was great. But I'm still coaching high school. I'm still going to be coaching high school for a couple more years, and after that, I don't know. It's up to Davis what he wants to do.
Yeah. So if any of them ever go pro, will they give you a cut, like 1% or something, 2%?
If the girls go pro, they won't make enough to give me a cut because girls' professional soccer does not really pay that much. If they go national, I just want to sign soccer ball or something from the whole team.
All right. If they're playing in the World Cup one day, you want to be able to go, "I taught her."
I'll be there with a T-shirt that says, "I taught number so-and-so." I coached. That's right.
All right, Andy Westover. Go ahead, David.
I'm so happy to see the season starting to get exciting. And by exciting, I mean unpredictable. I know people have been bagging on it to this point, but I generally think that most seasons pre-merge are pretty dull. To this point, due to recency bias, I think we've been comparing pre-merge San Juan del Sur to post-merge Cagayan, which just isn't fair.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey. If that's the case, he's right. That would not be fair. I mean, can you get much more polar opposite than those two?
It's a shame they're in the same year because they're not quite in the same league.
Yeah.
Anyway, to the point. David posed a question, which I did. Thank you for listening, Andy. What do you do if you're Natalie and Reed, and here are my thoughts. He's got 3 thoughts for Reed and a conclusion. Point number 1 for Reed. The main assumption under which I am operating is that Missy Baylor, John Jacqueline are an unbreakable group at this point. There are plenty of scenarios where this is not necessarily true, such as Missy Baylor jumping off the John and Jacqueline train since they have been flopping so much, and pulling in Wes Keith for their new foursome and sacrificing John and Jacqueline. Though the relationship dynamics we've seen so far seem to suggest this, so I'm going to go with it as this point. So that's 1 point about Reed, if they split up. Number 2, a natural alliance would be to continue with Missy Baylor, John, and Jacqueline. That would be an option, though my first thought was that it would leave him as a very clear and unshakable number 5 in that alliance. He's still talking about Reed. That actually makes this a viable option for him. He may be number 5 if they make it to the top 5. However, at this point, he switches to number 3 as the all-too-important swing vote that breaks the couples up and cruises to the finale with Missy Baylor or John and Jacqueline. That's a really good point, if all of them get that far. That works. If he can trust that foursome. My thought is he cannot trust that foursome. Missy has played...
Really.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't trust them either. Missy has played a calm, quiet, sweet-loving, and cutthroat game, axing Jeremy before the most clear example of this. Axing Jeremy being the most clear example of this. John and Jacqueline seem to flip-flop at every change of wind. If you are looking for safety in an alliance, this alliance probably is not it. I'm pretty sure that this was just a marriage of convenience for the last vote to ensure Reed's survival, so I don't think he should go this way. His other main option would be to form an alliance with the other 4 remaining players, Wes, Keith, Natalie, and Alec. All of these individuals, other than Reed himself, were on the outside of the Jeremy vote, thus making that the thing that can unite them. Historically, Reed has been aligned with all of them but Natalie just prior to Josh being voted out. So I'd imagine that Reed could feel pretty comfortable or confident in this alliance. Given the blind side of Natalie's bestie Jeremy, it seems reasonable to think / expect that she would be willing to open to this alliance. The key to that is painting John / Missy as the bad guys, and Reed as a guy who was doing anything he could to survive. Reed was not aligned with Jeremy, so this seems like an easy, reasonable sell.
Yeah, that'd be a really easy sell.
I do, because I wonder if Keith and Wes and Alec have actually had someone come to them and say, I want you to be my core alliance. We can have the numbers, and we can go to the end.
Right.
Because those guys have kind of been on the outs of almost all, even especially when Keith got voted for by Missy when they were voting out Dale. Conclusion. Here's Andy's conclusion about Reed. Reed joins with Wes, Keith, Natalie, and Alec. The interesting thing about this, I think, is that there does not seem to be a clear hierarchy in this alliance, though I think this would put him toward the top. This will likely lead to some jockeying for position, especially once the majority of the other alliance of 4 has been destroyed. All right.
Okay.
So there's his
That's Reed.
Now for Natalie. Number 1, again, I assume the unbreakable foursome, a.k.a. the UF. So he's talking about the same as for Reed about Missy Baylor, John Jacqueline.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, option A would be sticking with the unbreakable foursome. Sticking with the UF would be natural since this was her previous alliance. Perhaps
she's not, wait. How could she stick with them? She's not with them anymore.
Well, she was with them until those 4 changed their mind. But let me finish reading.
All right.
Perhaps a la Trish last season. And that would put her in a similar situation as Reed, being the swing vote to eventually break up the pairs. There is an obvious benefit to this, if she can feel safe or secure in that alliance. Though John and Jacqueline may collectively be undesirable number 1, you might argue that this makes them good to take to the end as potentially hated and wishy-washy individuals. Because of their constant flip-flopping and the fact that they've done so in a calculated and heartless way, especially after the reward sacrifice, and after being blindsided herself by Jeremy's ousting. Now my paper's getting too high, sorry. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
This is what I saw.
I'm like, why are you showing me papers? And my papers are getting higher. I'm like, uh-oh, I bet he's telling me to put my paper. Okay, sorry, it's another new setup. It would be pretty tough and thus unlikely for Natalie to trust them again. I completely agree. However, crazier things have happened. I completely agree again. All right, point number 3 for Natalie from Andy. This again leaves us with the option of joining the other 4. I think the other 4 are a much less conniving and therefore more secure alliance. They're not as savvy, he's saying. They can't put things together. Loyalty and predictability are valuable assets in this game, and the unbreakable foursome does not provide any of these. The big moves by the UF will make them easy targets moving forward. Conclusion. So this is Andy's conclusion for Natalie. Natalie should join with Reed, West, Keith, and Alec. Personally, I'd really like to see how this alliance develops and adjusts, since it would seem so new in so many ways. Also, I want to see Missy Jacqueline voted out so I can beat Dwayne in the fantasy game. And now all this comes around to a point. It's all about the fantasy game.
Yeah.
I like the move by the UF voting out Jeremy in regards to resuming building an interesting TV. However, it was 1 week too soon. Had they struck with the alliance one more vote and eliminated Reed, it seems likely they could have pulled someone else over to vote out Jeremy at the later point and not been at risk for giving up the majority. Thanks for the show, guys. Keep up the good work. Andy from Cameron, Missouri.
Cameron, Missouri. The Big Mo.
I agree.
Show me state.
I agree. I think it was definitely 1 week too soon. I understood his insistence on getting Jeremy gone.
Yeah.
But why did you just tick off the other person that was supposedly in your alliance, and you just brought in somebody you can't trust in Reed? Reed's playing for Reed. But we'll see.
It certainly helped Reed out.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right. And next we have Kayla from Canada. So here we go.
Hi, Dwayne and David. This is Kayla from Canada, leaving some feedback for episode 9. So, we get back from Tribal. Reed says he's furious, but I think he does a good job of acting kind of calm. He doesn't say much. Keith, on the other hand, is outwardly expressive of his anger. He tells Missy and John and Jacqueline all off, and in his confessional, he says, I am done with Missy and I'm done with John. And I just love the way he says it. He's so passionate. It's hilarious. At the immunity challenge, or the reward challenge, sorry, we are reminded that no good deed goes unpunished when Natalie and Jeremy give up their rewards. I don't know why people do this. This is it's just like John and Reed said. It's very transparent. It's trying to show your loyalty in a strategic way rather than through a genuineness. So that's awkward, and at camp, Keith and Wes are trying to strategically hint that they don't want to be blindsided, which could work. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a great idea, but Natalie does tell them that Reed is probably the first target. And this is relevant to me because I was trying to figure out why they all voted for Reed. I thought maybe they figured out it was him who went through the bag. I don't think that anymore. I think what happened was they heard from Natalie that that's who the target was, and they all wanted to vote in the majority so they don't alienate anyone else. That's what Alex said in the secret scene, and it makes some sense. So John makes a mistake by sending Jeremy to exile when he now will have a good idea of who has the idol. But he corrects himself. The question is, was this an overcorrection? Was it too much too soon? That remains to be seen. It's really hard to say. So Baylor wins immunity, and Reed is back at camp weaseling his way into a majority. But it's hard to say if this sequence of events is accurate. I got the feeling from Jeremy that this happened while he was on exile, but regardless, he brought information to the majority that showed I can be, quote-unquote, trusted, that I'm not with them anymore. So I think that opened up a major door for him to vote with them to get rid of Jeremy. Whether this stays remains to be seen. Whether he stays with them depends on if they need him. If Missy can get Natalie back, then they may not. But on the other hand, is this situation like Tony and LJ and Jeffra and Trish last year? So John is Tony, and he blindsides someone in his own alliance and angers their other alliance mate. Can Missy play the role of Trish and reel her back in? Maybe, but the difference in this situation is that Trish, aka Missy, was also in on this blindside, so she doesn't have as much of a connection to the feeling that Natalie has to be having. I'm not sure if it's a great idea to leave. I don't know if the move. It's good to make a move like this because he is a threat and he doesn't trust you. But John and Missy left a lot of loose ends. They left Natalie, and they're counting on Reed possibly, which could be bad for them. There's this one moment I want to talk about at Tribal Council where Jacqueline starts picking another fight with the guys. What is this supposed to be? I like Jacqueline. She's scrappy and she seems smart, but this calling people out, you don't want to completely alienate people on the outside because you might need them at some point, especially when you're pulling off moves like this. So she's telling people off, and it reminds me of Jacqueline likes to play the victim. She did it early on when she told the guys to stop picking on her and to vote out Rocker or something like that. Why the use of the word picking on me? Like, that's so juvenile. So I don't really know how to feel about that. I get this sense that the trajectory of John and Jacqueline is that they're becoming kind of overconfident, which doesn't fit with the image of John. I feel like John's been getting the nice guy edit, so this overconfidence could just be temporary, but we'll see. I'm really looking forward to the episode this week. I have no idea what's going to happen. Well, I have a few ideas, but they're so conflicting. It could be any one of them. So great show as always, and take care.
I love Kayla's feedback. Always do.
I got just about a page of notes just from her feedback.
Go for it, man.
I like that she pointed out how Reed came back and showed signs of someone that's paid attention in the game. When you have a bad tribal council, but you're still in the game, you don't come back and go on a rant.
Right.
Come back and be humble. Meanwhile, Keith, who did not lose anybody and did not play an idol, comes back and immediately starts chewing on Missy and starts chewing her out for flip-flopping.
Right.
You know, just put you down as a target. You know, Reed comes back. I'm okay. I'm doing about as good as expected. I like the John compared to Tony. The difference to me is Tony went after LJ knowing he needed to get rid of him, but he used the LJ's talking about getting rid of one of us. Like, woo. Remember he created that lie and kind of tricked LJ into saying something, so Tony wasn't actually lying when he went back to the group and said, LJ's talking about getting rid of one of us.
Right.
Whereas John's sole reason to Missy for getting rid of Jeremy was he's going to start telling people I have the idol. So for my protection, we need to get rid of one of our closest allies. Whereas Tony went back and said, hey, LJ's actually talking about starting to break us up. We need to get rid of him and then stay strong.
Right.
So there's two different philosophies, but I understand what she's saying. I'm sorry, say what?
After he got him to say it, yeah.
After he got him to say it. On camera, yes.
Yeah.
So there's two different philosophies to me. I think that stems from John's logic stems from what she said later on about them being confident. They've been the power couple for so long. That swing vote, which I don't necessarily think they're a power couple. I think they've just been the swing vote. But there's been a lot of confidence built up for them, possibly false confidence, that's leading him to think that whatever he says now, Missy's going to listen to and trust. And Missy could be keeping a log.
Yeah.
You know, why John did this. And this is why John did this. So when she sit with John at the end, she can bring out why John did what he did and why he shouldn't win.
I think they've been the lucky couple.
Yeah. I don't think they're a power couple either. They've been a very fortunate couple.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else about what she said?
She said a lot, and we could probably keep going on, but no, it was really good.
All right. Next, and not the least, but certainly the last, is Will the Giant Ninja.
Okay.
So here we go, David.
What's up, guys? It's as if you don't already know how I'm going to start this feedback. It's Will from Wonder Lake again, aka the Giant Ninja.
And I'm not gonna sing the Will the Giant Ninja song.
What, Hong Kong Phooey? Is that what it was?
No. See, you're trying to get me to sing it. I'm not going to.
Will the Giant Ninja. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So you did it.
What if that's on his letterhead, aka the Giant Ninja?
Yeah,
all right, I had to wait to write my feedback until after the Bears game again this week because, good luck and all. And what do you know? They won. I think the other team didn't show up. That must have been 2 in a row.
They were playing a local high school team.
There you go. And 2 in a row, we can't be stopped. As long as we keep playing terrible teams, we're golden. So, full disclosure, I'm exhausted. Yeah, I saw where you said he took a double dose of NyQuil or something in the chat way. So, we'll try and keep you awake.
Yeah, this particular feedback may not do the trick.
Okay. I haven't listened to your recap yet. Okay, why are you in the chat lane if you haven't listened to the recap? But anyway, and don't remember much about the episode. That's what the recap's for. Okay.
Just read it.
I think I'd find a way to score -6 in Miko's challenge this week. See, my wife was in the hospital last week. She's fine, by the way, which left me playing Mr. Mom with all the kids while trying to keep my practice going. And this weekend, she went to her high school reunion, leaving me with them again. Let me tell you, being a mom is hard. I'd rather play Survivor. So I told you last week that I'd be shocked if Jeremy wasn't blindsided. But I did not think it would happen just 3 days later. I'm not sure what the Jeremy vote out does to the dynamics of the tribe. Do the couples and Reed stick together? Do they go with Natalie? Do Natalie and Reed pair up with Keith and Alec? Frankly, I don't know. So it's time for another how does each player get to the end game? And that's one other thing about Kayla's feedback I wanted to mention, that she had a great point about those four cannot trust Reed. Reed's out for Reed, and Reed was on the other side of the fence. Now he came to their side of the fence to vote with them, but they should not trust Reed.
Right.
That's a good point.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. So here, so it's time for another how does each player get to the end of the game. Number 9, Alec. Alec needs to trade on the fact that he's alone and that he's universally detested. His best play is to be GOAT at this point, and if he can be a GOAT with Wes and Baylor, he has a strange shot. But I don't see it happening. His best chance is for John and Jacqueline and Missy and Baylor to pair up with him instead of Reed or Natalie, given that he's less of a threat than either of them. But more realistically, he needs to stick with Keith and Wes and convince Reed and Natalie that the other couples can't be trusted. Well, I think that'll be pretty easy. If he can form an alliance of 5, he's got 2 different pairs who would like to take him to the final 3. 8 and 7, Wes and Keith. Wes needs to stick with his dad. They're trustworthy and they're not a threat to win. If they can keep Alec along for the ride as well, the 3 of them only need one pair, J&J, M&B, Reed, and Natalie, to team up with them to control the game. Any number of scenarios work. Honestly, if an outsider is going to make it to the end, it's through this combination. Number 6 is Natalie. Natalie went from the penthouse to the outhouse real quick. It's not the fact that Jeremy was booted that hurt her. Arguably, Jeremy being voted out helps Natalie's game. But it was the way that she was also blindsided by the vote. She likely won't be able to mend fences with the foursome she thought she was tight with. And because of that, it's time for Natalie to flip the game. She needs to align with Reed and flip to the Keith-Alec side. Her other alternative is to make nice with J&J and M&B and hope that they would rather work with her than Reed. Frankly, though, I wouldn't trust them if I were her, and the other side will be easier to beat at the end anyway. I think that's a really good point, because I think Jeremy being voted out is forcing Natalie to play her own game now and only have to worry about herself. You know, with Nadia gone, she was by herself, and she was so close to Jeremy. With him gone, she's not following him. She's playing her own game and is going to make just her own decisions for herself.
Wait. So you think she was following Jeremy?
I think she was paired with Jeremy in doing the same, like John and Jacqueline are paired.
Okay.
So if Jeremy wanted to do something, she would go with Jeremy. And if she had an idea and Jeremy was totally against it, I think she would wait and go with his idea.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
You disagree?
No, I said fair enough.
Well, you were going to say something else, and I cut you.
Well, I didn't think that she was like his little peon, you know.
She was his boo.
Okay.
Oh, that's not pretty.
Hey, that's Probst calling, David. He wants you to be on the show. All right, David, continue on, please. Or do you need to take that call?
Hold on 1 second.
What happened? I can't hear you now at all.
I got like 3 phones ringing at me. Hang on 1 second.
Well, stop it. Stop them. I'll continue. Reed. Reed is in a great spot right now. If he can convince Natalie to vote with the boys, he can flip back to his alliance and turn the game against the power couples. Or he can try and stick as the 5th wheel with J&J and M&B. Either way, he's a natural candidate for anyone's final 3. The danger in flipping the game is that Keith and Alec are tight, and he may be setting himself up for 4th place finish if he can't infiltrate, especially with Keith's idol. The danger in not flipping the game is that the power couples have demonstrated a willingness to flip on powerful / strategic players, and he's ripe for a blindside. Personally, I think that Reed is more likely to make the final three by flipping the game back to his old alliance, but I don't think that that's what he'll do. Are you back?
I am back.
All right, go for it, David.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Number 4 and number 3, which would be Missy and Baylor. Missy and Baylor need to hold tight to John and Jacqueline. If they do, they have their pick of fifth wheels to ride along. They can keep Reed. They can dump Reed for Natalie, maybe. They can woo Alec. Missy and Baylor are maybe the only set in the game who are kind of stuck. Personality-wise, they can't work with Keith and Alec. I wonder if he means Keith and Wes. Thankfully, Jacqueline probably can't work with him either. So they're tied to J&J at the hip. That said, they need to dump John at Final 5 and dump Reed, Natalie, whoever at Final 4. Baylor can't win this game, and the only way Missy can is if she and Baylor are there with Jacqueline. Even though Jacqueline should beat Missy, Missy would win. Second and first, John and Jacqueline. At this point, I agree with Mike and Cleveland. Happy Josh Gordon Day, by the way, Mike. John wins this year. I don't like that. I don't like it, but I don't see the players finding their way out of it. I hope I'm wrong. J&J are fortunate that M&B need them more than they need M&B. M&B aren't going anywhere, so like above, all J&J need is to pick a fifth and ride the bus all the way to the end. At this point, they should stick with Reed. After another vote, okay, that I disagree with because Reed is too smart. I think he's a better player than the four of them, and that would be dangerous. They need to go get Alec, since Alec and Baylor seem to enjoy eating together. He would be perfect to join that foursome.
Yeah, really.
Another vote, he won't have a reasonable way out of the alliance of 5. After another vote, he won't have a reasonable way out of the alliance of 5. They should talk M&B into ousting Reed at Final 5. If it's a Final 4 of John, Jacqueline, Missy, and Baylor, I like John's odds in any challenge that doesn't require thinking. If he wins immunity, I don't think there's much danger in trying to keep Jacqueline in the game. But if they really want to be strategic, they eliminate Jacqueline. If John goes to the Final 3 with Missy and Baylor, he gets every vote. Michigan John, y'all. Well, that's it. Looks like I've got a diaper to change. Lucky me. And my wife just texted me. She blew a tire. Maybe she'll decide to grab a hotel room and not come home until tomorrow. That would be awesome. Where's the sarcasm font again? Later, peeps.
All right, so Will the Giant Ninja is informing us in the chat room. While we thought we were correcting his misspelling of Alice, A-L-E-S, and saying Alec every time, he apparently did it on purpose. He meant Keith and Alice. Sounds like Alice, Alec and Wes. So anytime he's got Keith and Alice, if you're going to do that, you need to tell us that, because believe me, we read a lot of feedback and we have to do a lot of editing.
Yes.
Some people don't know what commas are or what they mean, and so we have to try to decipher and figure it out so we can read it correctly. So when you put in Alice, we're going to assume you meant Alec.
We're going to assume you're in the middle of changing a diaper.
Yeah.
You need someone to correct it for you. But he's right.
Yeah.
He did say that before where you combine their names. I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, we still need the reminder because we're not lawyers.
No.
We don't remember everything and bring it up in the trial.
Unless it's a movie, no. We don't remember everything.
That's right. All right, it's time for Miko's Challenge. And then we'll get to the CBS Express teaser for episode 10. And then we will do the D&D Survivor Challenge and see if I gain some ground this time.
Oh, that would be so good for you.
Yeah, it would be. All right, David, are you ready? Did you watch it twice?
I think so.
Didn't you watch it again before the recap?
Yeah, I think I did watch it Thursday.
All right. Quote number 1, trust is huge within an alliance.
Oh, that was at the final travel council. I think that was Jeremy.
That was Jeremy. Good job.
Thank you, brother.
Quote number 2, I feel like I got hit by a train. I feel like I got hit by a train.
Who?
I need music to play whenever you're thinking.
Oh, that's Jeremy from Exile Island. That's me putting people back to back trying to trick me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to guess number 3 is... No, I'm going to wait.
Quote number 3, at the end of the day, it's like, are we making the right decision? At the end of
Mm,
the day, it's like, are we making the right decision?
is that Jacqueline?
That would be Missy talking to John right before tribal.
Oh, you say so.
I don't say it.
I was
Miko.
close. I was in the foursome.
Yeah, quote number 4. I think people are really comfortable.
Oh, somebody said that at well, they said confident at tribal council. Comfortable. Is that Jacqueline?
That would be Missy at tribal.
Oh, that's wrong. That's two people. That's Jeremy twice and Missy twice.
All right. Number 5. It's just part of the game. How many people said that?
I think that
Everybody
that's
says
about
that.
the line thing.
But who said it this time? It's just part of the game.
Was that Missy talking to Keith? Because I remember Keith talked about lying. He said, "I guess I'm gonna start doing that now." And somebody said it's part of the game. I would say
It was
Missy.
not. It was not Missy talking to Keith.
Oh,
It might have been Missy, but it wasn't Keith. Do you want to go with Missy?
yeah. Because I
That'd
thought,
be 3 Missies in a row. Are you sure?
sure.
Was Missy talking to John?
Hey, before you go further, what was the score after last week? You didn't say what the score
Oh,
was.
you're ahead, 58-49. It's the
Oh.
story of my life.
I can play with a few quotes then. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the last 5. I'm not worried about the quotes. I'm worried about the last 5 questions.
Yeah. Will in our chat room, who we just read feedback from, made a comment. Not a lot of feedback last few episodes. You're right, because there's less interest in the season this year. This season. So, all right. Quote number 6. There's total mayhem right now on camp.
Oh, goodness. I don't even remember that even being said.
There's total mayhem right now on camp. Now, he wrote on camp. I don't know if he meant at camp and just didn't do it right, but if I read exactly what he wrote, there's total mayhem right now on camp.
I'm going to say Reed as a guess.
That would be John after Jacqueline told him about Keith's idol.
Oh, I have to recollect that. Not at all.
Yeah. All right, quote number 7. John needs food.
Missy, after John was given food.
You know what, Miko? David said that in the recap. You want to just hand him points?
He's done that a couple times. He's quoted me from quoting the show.
You idiot. I'm not happy about that.
Sorry.
At least do stuff that David didn't point out in the recap. Oh, yeah, John said it like twice, but Missy said it at the end. Number 8, I love food and I love rewards.
Oh, that's Reed.
Mm,
Reed said that on the reward.
no.
Me?
Hey, read at the yacht. Quote
Actually,
number 9.
I remember that from a recap. Somebody said that in the recap or else on our
Yeah.
Facebook page that Reed said.
Probably you again.
Oh. No, I
So
don't think I said that.
what Miko does is he goes and listens to the recap and writes down all the quotes that you mentioned.
He doesn't get quotes from the show. He gets them from the recap show.
Yeah.
So this is a test of the recap show. It's not a test of the episode itself.
It's the test of what David said. David, do you remember the quotes that you pointed out?
Which you should do better at because you listen to the recap. I don't listen to the recap.
Number 9. Good job, Baylor.
Is that Jeremy?
That would be Keith.
I would presume that's individual immunity challenge.
After returning from the... That's right. Number 10. Man, that was intense.
Alec, he said it like twice. He said it after tribal council at the beginning of the show, and he said it at the end after the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just Alec, not Alice.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Give me the ding.
I don't want a ding.
Give me the ding.
No. Question number 1.
Ding.
How many... When I was a little bitty boy, how many people weren't mentioned by name in the previously on segment?
I would ask you to clarify, did you say weren't, but it really won't matter because I really have no idea how many people were not mentioned.
How many people were not mentioned by name in the previously on?
So if there's 10 people on the show, then I'm going to say they talked about half, so I'll say 5.
So you're saying they did not mention 5 of them.
Yeah, I'll split the difference, yeah.
Okay, that is incorrect. So now here's your multiple choice for a possible 1 point.
Okay.
7, 4, or 3 that were not mentioned.
I'll say 4. Just go one off my original guess.
The answer is 3. Missy, Baylor, Natalie.
Oh.
So there you go.
No, I need to start listening to Previously On a little more. That's
Well,
because we never
apparently.
talk about it. We
Nah,
don't talk about it anymore.
I want to talk about that. Question number 2, David.
Yes.
Who was the third person who fell in the mud at the reward challenge?
Let's see. Of course, I don't have my recap notes. Let's see. Reed and West.
That would be
were first.
cheating.
Well, I mean, I didn't write down who fell in the mud. Reed and West were first, and then Natalie and Jacqueline were second. Who fell in the mud? I don't remember who all. If they both
Who
fell
was
in
the
mud.
third person who fell in the mud at the reward challenge?
I'm gonna say Jeremy because I think they were third.
The answer is Jacqueline. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops.
Do I get a multiple guess? That's all right.
Jeremy, Natalie, or Jacqueline? Oops.
Well, I might have guessed Jacqueline because I know Natalie won twice, but how was it Jacqueline?
Jacqueline, both people from the first matchup went in the mud, and Jacqueline
Oh.
was the first one and the second one.
So Reed and West fell in the mud, and Jacqueline.
So you got a point. Question number, and yes, for those of you who are sticklers about this stuff, the first one, Reed and West both fell in.
Okay,
One of them fell in first.
that would have been West.
Question number 3, who was the first person to drop their pieces in the immunity challenge?
As in to knock over their pieces?
Who was the first person to drop their pieces in the immunity
Drop
challenge?
them from the bundle. Oh, gosh. I wasn't Reed because he didn't take the lead. It was, well, I say it was as if I know, so it's going to be a guess. I'm going to say Wes.
All right, the options are John, Natalie, and Keith.
So you're saying that I was wrong.
Well, since those are the options.
Natalie, Keith. Was it Keith?
It was Keith. Good job, David.
Oh, I was just asking. I wasn't saying that was my final answer, but I'll say
Yes,
it.
you were. Don't even do
I
that to me.
remember now that I thought that was weird that he got it down first.
Question number 4.
Big Carolina toes or big Southern Louisiana toes. Go ahead. New Orleans,
Really?
whatever they are.
Now,
whatever.
everybody that listens to us from Louisiana is going to be upset with you because you said they all had big toes.
No, just his big toes.
You said his big Louisiana toes. Louisiana being an adjective describing toes as big.
And you just prolonged the segment by repeating what I said that you could have edited out. But anyway.
No, because you're actually saying the toes are Louisiana. You're not saying that they're big because they're Louisiana toes. Seriously. I was giving you a hard time, but if you're going to get a little persnickety about
I'm
it.
still surprised he was the first one to get him down.
Yeah, really, because of his big toes.
That's right.
All right, question number 4. Wes was wearing many different things around his neck during this episode, but what was he wearing during tribal council?
That's a fill in the blank. That's
Around his neck for all the nitpickers out there.
a necklace.
All right. That's wrong. You have 3 choices: a silver chain, his buff, or nothing. A silver chain, his buff, or his neck in the buff.
Which I don't think he was. I think it was on his head. Yeah, it was on his head.
It was in the buff, as in naked.
Oh.
Gosh.
Well, his neck in the buff or nothing is the same thing.
That's what I meant.
Sorry. So what are the 3 choices again?
A silver chain, his buff, or nothing.
I would say nothing because I don't.
That is correct. Nothing. All right. Question number 5. Hello, David.
I'm here. Work has let me know that things are going to be difficult when I go in tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. What did Alec drop in his drink at the reward?
Chocolate cake. No, he dropped the chocolate cake in the ocean because we saw that extra clip. I don't know.
Okay, your
I don't know.
options are a piece of lime, a piece of pineapple, or a piece of strawberry.
Oh wow, that's a very detailed question. I have no idea. I would say I would choose pineapple.
Wrong, a piece of strawberry.
Okay.
All right, you got like 4 points on the questions, and then you got several of the quotes correct.
Sweet.
That's right. All right, my friends, and remember, this next week we are not having, by the way, the show's not over yet, just reminding you of something. We're not having a recap episode. We are going to have a feedback episode a week from tonight, which is Sunday night at 10 p.m. live, and that will be our only episode. That will be episode number 196, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only have 5 more episodes before our 200th episode, which we're hoping to celebrate with, lots of cheering. Then get on with the show. But anyway, so no recap show over the Thanksgiving holiday, and but there will be a recap. I'm sorry, but there will be a feedback show.
Yes, with some recap mixed in.
Right. So, but seriously, we're just
going
going
to be a recap. We'll just be responding to the feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna do recapping the show. So, all right. So, David, it is time for the CBS Express teaser for episode 10, and you asked me to do it tonight.
I did.
So I will do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we build trust. Another castaway trades their reward for security in the game. Also, the first idol of the season comes during a chaotic tribal council on Survivor. So that means John or Keith plays an idol.
Do they play it or do they wear it around their neck? Because it says comes into play. It doesn't say they get paid.
That's true. I would think Keith would be more likely to go, well, I'm just going to pull this out. Just, be safe, put it around my neck, just let y'all know you can't vote for me. More than John would.
Well, but John's the one that's been quoting people like Kat making the merge, so John, I'm sure, has seen Malcolm and watched Malcolm put it around his neck.
Well, that's true.
So that's an option. It could go either way.
That's right.
But, ladies and gentlemen, you just got a free voice read from a free professional. So
I have made a little bit of money.
Yes.
$32, I think. Doing voiceover work so far. Wow! Awesome. I can retire!
For about 5 minutes.
It's a wonder anybody can find you on Fiverr.com, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Because there's a ton of voice talent on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they find me and I get asked to do stuff. So I do it. Remember, call McPherson Oil over. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't. If you want to hear my voiceover. What's horrible about that one was we want it in 8-bit mono, super low quality for the phone system. And I'm like, are you sure? Because it sounds really bad. Hello, thank you for calling McPherson Oil. All right. Shayna's Week 9 point spread, David. Did I or did I not gain a little bit on you this week?
I want to say you did. I don't recall. Actually, no, you didn't. Because you lost by 4 points for the day, for the episode.
Well, then I didn't gain any ground.
No. I know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was looking at the score at the end. I'm like, well, I'm not up by 300 anymore.
I'm not sure if you did, Dwayne, because you lost by 3 points. Really, David?
The 13 points you picked up last week. I got 4 of them back this week.
Well, crud, now you're not as scared of your 200-point lead.
I'm late. It's late and I'm tired, but you're right. I should have picked that up by the fact that I won the week.
Are you serious?
All right, go ahead.
Serious. We'll start with Jacqueline. Hers is easy. 1 point, an appearance point. That's for your team. Let's see. Next loss was Alec. Just Alec. 4 points because he won the reward challenge.
All right.
We've got Wes and
What? Wait, what team is Alec on?
he's on your team.
Okay.
You've got a bunch of people left, so you're going to start catching up. Wes, who's on my team, got 5 points. Appearance point, 1 confessional, and he said blindside twice.
Yeah.
Missy, who's on your team, that's because he was talking about himself, too. Don't blindside me. Please don't blindside me. If you're blindside me,
Please don't hashtag blindside me.
That's right. And I was, you know, when he said that, I was thinking, I hope Shayna counts hashtag blindside as blindside.
Yeah, she does.
And then Missy, who's on your team, got 5 points, an appearance point, 2 confessionals. Then Natalie, who's on my team, got 6 points, an appearance point, reward challenge win, 1 confessional. Let's see. Then we get to double digits. And Reed, who's on your team, had an appearance point, reward challenge win, and 3 confessionals.
There you go.
Then we get to Baylor, who's on your team, got 13 points.
Oh, yeah.
Appearance point, reward challenge win, 2 confessionals, and won the individual immunity challenge.
That's what I'm talking about.
Then we get to John, who's on your team, got 14 points. An appearance point, 5 confessionals, and has a hidden immunity idol.
How the heck did you get more points than me then?
Because then we get to the next 2 who are both mine. Keith, 18 points. An appearance point. He got the title of the episode. He had a hidden immunity idol, 4 confessionals, and he said the word blindside.
Why didn't I pick Otis to be on my team?
I don't know, but you really should have picked Jeremy because he had 19 points going out. An appearance point, reward challenge win, 5 confessionals, and a trip to Exile Island.
Oh, man.
So my point.
Keith needs to go next.
Oh my gosh,
Keith needs to go next.
He is killing with the points.
He needs to go next. For someone who didn't give very good confessionals, he sure does have a lot of them. All right.
And that's it. Oh, the total score.
All right.
We'll do the total sscore. Total score is Dwayne has 517 points. And 235 points higher is David with 752.
235 points higher?
But here's the deal. I'm down to 3. You have 6.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they don't have. They'd have to like spend the whole. They have to be like nothing but Missy confessionals.
Here's how you win. Natalie, Keith, and Wes all quit. Not medevac. They all quit the game, and your team gets the rest of the confessionals and the wins and the exiles for the rest of the season.
Actually, if my team is in the final 4 and you don't have anybody, then I get nothing but points the whole last 4 episodes.
The whole finale.
Yeah, the whole finale is just a Dwayne point.
How many episodes do we have left?
I don't know. There's like.
Let's say there's 3 and then the finale. But 2 of them are one night.
There's 1 this week, and then the next week there's 2 on the same night.
So that's 3 people gone, which would take us down to 6. So if my 3 go, then your 6 would be in the finale. Yeah, because the 2 double episode, I think, comes right before the finale, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
We could have all final in the finale.
I don't know, man.
Your percentages aren't bad.
Hey, it's looking good. It's looking good.
I think it comes down to Reed and Natalie. Those 2 are going to make decisions that are going to affect the rest of the season.
Yeah. By the way, I had a good conversation with our new Facebook group member, the one that I almost didn't let join because, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a good conversation with her on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I almost felt guilty because she's so pretty, and I don't want my wife to be mad at me.
Why are we talking about it?
Well, because she told me about some cool Australian
sunglasses. Oh.
No, slang. Yeah. Wait, you want to buy some sunglasses? She goes, sorry to bag out your BB. And I was like, what in the world does bag out mean? Apparently bag out means to make fun of.
Oh, okay.
So, David, don't go bagging me out. Don't bag out me.
But it's so fun.
And then one of the things is on Big Brother Australia is they say use. David, use a good guy.
Who is?
They say that a lot. Use. Let's see. What else did she say? Good job, mate.
Yep.
I'm learning the slang.
I wonder if
So
that's true because I
she's
heard
gonna send me a book
I heard
of
that
Australian
mate
slang.
comes from cellmate because they sent a bunch of prisoners to start Australia. I heard
What?
that. I heard mate came from the term cellmate.
Wait, you mean Australia was started? Okay, are
As a
you
prison
sure
colony.
about this? It was a prison colony?
I haven't read that in a long time, but for some reason I remember reading that Australia. Somebody in our chat wing group can tell us.
So everybody from Australia is who their ancestors are criminals? Is that what you're saying, David?
Move over there. No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. Um,
Nobody in Australia uses a family tree website because they don't want to know. I had a great granddad / uncle type of dude that got hung by the British.
really?
Because he killed so many British for the Americans that they made a what's it called when they what's it called when they want to make a point? They make an example out of you.
I'll make an example.
Yeah, so they hung him, had him hanging there for days.
Here, let me throw this at the end. Mike K brought it up because we don't usually cover fun office pools. Since we got a minute, I'll say this real quick.
Fun office pools?
Oh, now
What's
I know
that?
why he wanted me to do a fun office pool update because Mike K is number one in our fun
No, I
office
don't want to do a
pools.
fun office pool update.
Well, I'll just do it for Mike that he's number one in the fun office pools.
Okay, Mike, you're number one. Go ahead, David. Do the fun office pool thing.
I just did it. He's number one.
Oh, okay. All right, man. It's been fun. I'm off tomorrow. Are you off tomorrow? I took the whole week.
I get to go in tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I took a week of vacation. Well, actually, I only took 3 days of vacation. We're off Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
So I will be traveling. I'm going to be a traveling man. Hey, I heard a good joke today.
Okay.
Bob was complaining about going to school.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And he was like, I don't want to go to school because Jenny hates me. And I'm not very good at this joke thing. Because Jenny hates me and I don't remember what else he said. Anyway, and I'm trying to forget it.
This is why the iTunes review said bad
Ultimately, the mom, but it wouldn't be his mom, it'd be his wife, said you have to go to school because you're the principal. So forget it. I heard it on Welcome Back, Kotter. I've been watching Welcome Back, Kotter lately.
Oh, I love that show.
Welcome back. Anyway, he always has a funny joke.
Yes.
Did you hear about my Uncle Bob?
Was that Gabe Kaplan, Mr. Cotter, or who was it? That had the joke.
It's always Mr. Kotter that has the joke.
Gabe Kaplan, yeah. He's also a professional poker player. I don't know if you knew that or not.
All right, we need to learn to land the plane, so I'm landing the plane, David. Thanks for shopping Amazon. Using our link, it's Christmas time. Now's when we need you to shop a lot on Amazon. stwdd.com/Amazon. Become a patron at patreon.com/SurvivorTalk. And follow Survivor Talk on Twitter at Survivor_Talk. You can even follow David at
David_STWDD.
There you go. And because he's on there all the time.
Were you testing me to see if I still remembered my handle?
Yeah, he's on there all the time.
That gives me facts about the phone number.
But more importantly, my friends, the place to be is our Facebook group. It is facebook.com/groups/Survivor Talk. Now, we also have a page, and all I do on that page is just post our most recent podcast. But all the group discussion goes on in the group. So join the group. We're almost at 500. Join the group. Leave. What?
Now's a really good time because since we're not doing a recap this week, our Facebook page will probably be burning with comments.
Oh, yeah. Burning. All right, music for tonight's show is Summit by Skrillex. We want to thank you for listening. Thank you for to those who watched us live and were on our chat room. You're a great group of guys and gals. And that's all I got. How about you, Dave?
I'm good.
All right, see you, everybody.
See ya.